Morning, everybody. It's an honor for me to be here, and to have possibility to have a speech. And for me, as I'm Ukrainian, so that is only one of my conflicts of interest. So, as you know, so we have such terrible situation, and I'm really happy to be here today because I'm happy for this, I'm happy for this invitation and for this moral support which we received from you. And it's very important for us to feel us, and it makes us feel not alone. I represent the Ukrainian Association of Anesthesiologists, Intensive Care Specialists and Perfusionists under the direction of Professor Loskotov and Professor Todurov, and represent also the Heart Institute, which is the leading cardiac surgery clinic in Ukraine, and we perform in more than 2,200 CPB per year. However, it was before the war. Now all is a little bit different. Now we are working under the very tough conditions. Occasionally we have to conduct surgeries and, during the air alerts, during the sound of our air defense, and sometimes under the explosions. Even this morning was starting for us not so good because I received a message from my colleague from the Kharkiv city that their hospital was totally destroyed this night. It is more difficult for everyone and for us as the healthcare professional as well. And the work runs outside the radius of one's capacity. In addition, we encountered new types of traumas that we have not dealt before. And really, the slogan of this conference is improving the future by learning from the past. It's more relevant for us than ever. Let me say a few words about the situation, what we are facing now. On February 24th, every Ukrainian's life broke up into before and after the war. And the personal stories of everyone are unique and scary at the same times. All hospitals started admitted wounded soldiers and civilians. And our hospital is the third line hospitals, and we admit thoracic and major vessel traumas. We provide care to all of those who transferred to us from district hospitals. And at the same time as it was before, we continued admitting patients with heart diseases, adults and children. And all this against the backdrop of alarms and shelling. To this date, more than 7 million shells and rockets have been fired in Ukraine. All types of the weapon were used, even then, which are prohibited by the Geneva Convention. And we are not yet talking about the prospect of using nuclear weapons, but maybe later. The medical system experiences a devastating impact. There were targeted shelling of hospitals, ambulance stations. In general, according to the information from our Ministry of Health of Ukraine, more than 900 hospitals were damaged and 123, today it is 124, were completely destroyed. At the same time, most employers are staying in their working place. This picture are from our hospitals, from Heart Center, and several times a day we had to move our patients not all, but only that we can move. We move them to the basement and provide treatment there. So all doctors and medical staff stayed day by day and night for 2 months with no days of off and breaks. In addition, the clinic shelters have served as a protection for the families, not only for workers, but also for their families and for the people who are living not far from this hospital. To ensure autonomy, we drilled a well for uninterrupted water supply to the hospital, installed additional generators and stocked up on a fuel. However, the problem arose oxygen tanks, which certainly provided oxygen to our and to the neighborhood hospital. The risk of possible detonation during shelling was too high and made impossible to us to use them and to refuel this. Our challenge was to supply oxygen to our operation theaters. We found the solution that I would like to demonstrate on this small case. This example, patient was injured on the battlefield as a result of the sniper attack. He was evacuated from the battlefield by his fellow military medic, but during evacuation, they both were blown up by a landmine, and the medic died on spot. Our patient survived and was urgently evacuated to us. Given the scenes of tamponade, the patient underwent pericardial drainage, had hematoma removed in the right ileocecal angle, pneumothorax drainage, and received surgical treatment to injured right hand. Following stabilization of his condition, a little bit later, the patient underwent right coronary artery bypass grafting under CPB with the removal of the fragment. CPB, CPB was performed on our heart-lung machine, Mackay HL20, with using of the Inspire 8F oxygenators. Patient body weight was 89 kilos and 183 centimeters, BSA in 2.11. The initial level of hemoglobin before surgery was 113. CPB was performed with usage of standard type of cannulation with DLP, arterial cannula 22 French, and two-stage venous cannula 34 to 46 French. At the level of activating closing time was more than 460 seconds cannulation, and after cannulation we start CPB with the minimum hemoglobin level was 92 grams per liter. Oxygen delivery during CPB was maintained at the level more than 272 milliliters of O2 per minute per square meters, with the minimum blood flow 2.4 liters per minute per square meter. Change in mean blood pressure during CPB did not exceed 20% of baseline. The priming solution in total 1,100 milliliters consisted of 50 milliliters of Gelaspan, 100 milliliters of sodium bicarbonate, 300 of sodium chloride solution, and a mannitol solution was added to the priming. So, given the possibility of missile fire on the clinic by Russian troops to prevent the detonation of oxygen storage tank, which are commonly used in our clinic as a source of the oxygen during CPB, we used oxygen concentrator Trimplex plasmid, and the maximum flow of oxygen in the oxygen concentrator is 5 liters per minute, and VO2 reached 90%. VO2 could be controlled by a mixing oxygen from the oxygen concentrator and the air flow to the mixer. Thus, the supply of oxygen flow of 2 liters per minute and 1 liter per minute air to the mixer allowed to provide us VO2 level on 68%. An anesthesia gas analyzer was used to monitor the VO2 level of the resulting mixture. The effectiveness of the use of oxygen concentrator during CPB was also confirmed by the results of analysis of blood gases. You see them on the picture. PO2 from 129 to 215, CTO2 from 19 to 21, and also we control cerebral saturation with no decrease below 10% of baseline. The mean intraoperative lactate levels also did not exceed the reference values and were 161 plus minus 0.2 millimolar, which indicated a normal level of tissue perfusion and tissue gas exchange. Electrical fibrillation, electrical induced ventricular fibrillation was used, which was performed by the fibrillator, and duration of CPB was 84 minutes. Duration of fibrillation was 25 minutes. Positive verbal contact was recorded 18 minutes later after anesthesia, with the positive dynamic on the ECG monitor. So this, our case, demonstrates that it is safety of using an oxygen concentrator during CPB, which make it possible to perform cardiac surgery in the absence of centralized oxygen supply or its deficiency. However, we were stuck by something else in this clinical case. The first and the main question of our patient after the surgery was not about cardiac surgery, not about what's the prognosis of him. He just asked us, okay, what's going on with my right hand? So, you know, he wanted to know if he could shoot and his fingers will work after surgery. With such a spirit of our warriors, and you know, this is also our way and our chance to thank you for you all, personally, for people, for companies, to say a real thanks for that support which you gave for us. And we are going to win for sure. Thank you for your time.